1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move, whatever click.
So I think we pretty much heard about the shooting yesterday that happened up the street. I want to reiterate that it happened a block, or excuse me, a half a block at least up the street from the grand opening at the Marathon Burger yesterday in Long Beach. So this is not a situation that was relative to the grand opening. It happened up the street, right? But here Flakko was breaking down, giving what he believes is his version. And I just think he's stepping into some extremely dangerous territory and things that he says in this video. And I'll explain that as the video goes on. I only watched a tiny bit of it, so let's get into it now.
There was a mass shooting at the Marathon Burger grand opening earlier today in Long Beach. The mass shooting almost took the lives of a lot of people we know and love.
Oh, shit. Shots are being fired right now. Shots are being fired.
What nice at, bro? I don't know if I'm shot.
Now, let me just pause it right there. I don't know if you guys can clearly make out what he's saying, but he's basically screaming in disgust and saying, man, what are you guys doing, man? I got a baby with me. So if this was a grand opening, possibly billed as a family event, I didn't see the billing, so I don't want to assume too much, but I'm assuming it's a restaurant, so it's basically going to be billed as a place where you can bring your family and enjoy your meal and so on and so forth. And once again, this dude is just utterly disgusted with what's taking place because he says, hey, man, I got my baby with me.
You got Nipsey Hussle brother Black Sam ducking behind a car. You got a no jumper host, Barry Gordy, telling the police, bro, I may have got shot. You got a lot of people doing a lot of things. You even got P. Nice, our brother. He's walking up there. He turns around when the shooting happened. A lot of stuff is going on in that video. Here's the story that explains it all. So it's the Marathon Burger grand opening. You got a lot of people who's in attendance, a lot of celebrities, but you also got a lot of people who got no business being in a room with celebrities. These are hooligans. These are like lowlives. These are people who you can't pay me to be in the same room with. These are absolute imbeciles, gang members. They're also there. And that's the problem with doing business on the West Coast. Gang members are involved in almost everything, right?
Now, I've often heard Flakko express his displeasure with gang members and dudes who are gang affiliated and so on and so forth. He said you couldn't pay him to be in a room with gang members. Well, that's untrue. I've definitely seen him in the room with the gang members before. I don't know if sometimes when individuals reach certain heights on YouTube or in life, just in general, they will tend to see themselves as better than others. And I've definitely got this feeling from Flakko in the past that he thinks he's better than certain people. And so let's get more into it though.
You have an establishment, you have a grand opening where it's a family, it's a friendly family event. Here comes these stinky gang members, right, trying to ruin things. So what happened was At this family-friendly event with celebrities that was supposed to be for the community, this hooligan from the 80s pull up. Long Beach got a lot of gang politics. There was this kid from the 80s, this little turned-up kid from the 80s. He pulled up by himself dolo.
Now, that's one thing that I disagree with in this video, and I think is dangerous, right? Unless Flakko was there, and even if he was there, to drop the name of gangs where he thinks these individuals are from is deadly and is dangerous, because for one, he could be mistaken about that. You know, he's not of the California culture when it comes to these gang politics, so on and so forth. I've often seen him say things that are wrong. He's learning on the fly, and he doesn't do a whole lot of research in things that are extremely easy to find out. Case in point, he puts that 2 people were killed at this incident when it's only one person that I have seen. So just things that it seemed like he would be a little bit more meticulous about finding out doesn't really matter to him. But once again, unless he was there, then this is a third-party story. But let's get back into it.
Now he pull up and he gets to dissing his enemies, because a lot of enemies was in the same location. So he's in the middle of Marathon Burger dissing his enemies. Do your research on who the 80s is beefing with in Long Beach. So he dissing his enemies.
Right there, another deadly, dangerous statement. Do your research on who that gang is beefing with. I mean, you know, to me, like I say, the insinuations and things that he's making in this video is potentially going to get a lot of people interviewed, people questioned. You're going to have neighborhoods scrutinized. And I don't believe he was there, because he just said earlier you couldn't pay him to be in a room with gang members. So obviously this is coming from someone else.
I'm talking about straight up dissing, saying diss words for him, throwing up sets, really pushing his line and really gang banging in the middle of Marathon Burger. But he by himself. There's 100 enemies. They could have blitzed him right there, and there's nothing he could have done about it. Well, at least at the time they thought there was nothing he could have done about it if it's 100 of them and one of him. But now we know why he was so bold to do that as the story progresses. So as he's dissing in the middle of Marathon Burger, the enemies go over to Black Sam to tell Black Sam they got to get rid of him. But they not trying to disrespect the grand opening and disrespect Nipsey Hussle and what's going on right now. But bro is bugged out. He's wilding out. So as the enemies is going over to speak to Black Sam to tell Black Sam they got to get rid of this dude or else it's going to get bad, 3 of his homies pull up. Three more 80s pull up to the scene. Now they pull up not really understanding they little homie was just here dissing, bugging out, doing wrong. So 380s pull up. Now at this point in time, now when the 380s pull up, the enemies is talking to Black Sam, but there's now
let me just stop the video. He keeps continuously throwing the name of this gang out there into this situation. This is dangerous because let's just say that he may be wrong. You may hear other individuals who hear this, who want to ride and seek certain individuals out and try to get some revenge, or, you know, believe me, whoever was involved know who was involved. So for him to just come and put all this stuff out, I think is a little bit crazy. You know, at the time that I seen the video, it was already past 100,000 views. And so he has put this information out there before the public. And once again, if it's third-party information, then his information is only as good as the individual who is relaying it to him. If he has not thoroughly vetted the information or the person that he's talking to, then everything he's saying may not be reliable.
there's 480s and there's 100 enemies swarming them. The enemies told Black Sam, listen, he gotta go. Black Sam agreed. Black Sam said, you know what? You right. So Black Sam gathered his homies and said, hey, I need y'all help escorting the 480s to safety off the premises of Marathon Burger. So Black Sam gathered up his homies. Black Sam walked up to the 480 members and said, hey, listen, I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate the support. But right now the politics is politicking. Y'all gotta go. we got an establishment and a family-friendly event to run. The 480s agreed because Black Sam told them, we're going to escort y'all to safety. Where did y'all park at? We're going to escort y'all to y'all car. So the 480s members is under the understanding, okay, Black Sam about to escort us to our car, we going to be straight. Now, Black Sam, though, was not about to get involved in 80 politics. So when Black Sam and the homies that he was with walked the dudes out of the Marathon Burger, they was under the understanding of they're about to walk us to our car and to safety. Black Sam is under the understanding of I'm about to walk these dudes off our premises. So as they walk in, they get to a position where it's off the Marathon Burger premises. Black Sam stops here and say, hey, we not getting involved in Long Beach politics. This is as far as we can take y'all. So Black Sam and them stop. Directly off the Marathon Burger premises, they stop. As soon as they stop, the enemies swarmed the 480s. And a fight ensued. Now, it's not much of a fight.
Now, that's another problematic area in my opinion. You have just put Black Sam in the near vicinity of what's going on, right? And so now you have potentially opened him up to be possibly questioned from law enforcement about this whole incident. Because if you're saying he's right there, you're saying that he witnessed the incident. He has escorted these dudes off because their presence is a problem. And so, of course, anybody who has any sense of the streets, once he gets these dudes to where they're going and they automatically get rushed, he's going to have his eyes on the situation possibly. And even before they get rushed, he's going to be potentially keeping his eye on everything. It's his business, right? And so you just said a mouthful to potentially have law enforcement shaking branches in places they may have not beforehand. Now you have some people out there that's going to say, hey man, well, I'm sure it's cameras all up and down the street and all these businesses and this area has cameras. Well, then if that's the case, then let the police review the cameras and figure out who they want to talk to. But the information that he's given, I think, is just extremely dangerous, and he's not thinking about some of the things that he's doing, which is, my problem a lot of times with Flakko, by him not necessarily being from this culture. A lot of times he does a lot of things that are very game goofy, to say the least. But anyway, let's go.
It's 4 of them and 100 enemies. They is ragdolling them. They is whooping them. So the young turned up dude from the 80s, he pull out a gun and he starts to shoot to get folks off him. But as he begins to shoot, this the problem with gang members, man. Y'all feel like when they made guns, when they made your gun, that's when they stopped making guns. But that's not the case because everybody got guns. So when the 80 member pulled out his gun and started shooting, the enemies pulled out their gun and started shooting. 2 of the enemies got hit. Leg shots though, grazed a little bit, nothing too serious. They lived. The 80 member who was turned up, pulling out guns, shoot, he died. He died. Now, he didn't die at the hospital. He died on the right. He died at the scene. But
okay, so now let me just pause it right there. He's talking about these individuals from a hood who he claims is the opposition of the individual who lost his life. Now, let's just say when these dudes get questioned, right? Let's just say these dudes don't have any gang tattoos. These dudes tell the police, I'm not gang affiliated. I'm not in any gang. And I don't know why I got shot. I was just in the crowd and somebody started shooting, Okay, so then the police are kind of stuck without anywhere potentially to go on. But now Flakko has said that he's named the other guy who unfortunately lost his life, said what gang he's from. He says research on who they beef with. So if he has potentially gave the police even a quick lead, maybe they zoom right over there. Let me give you a scenario. They zoom right over there to this opposition area. They see somebody getting out of the car. This guy, he has maybe been on the phone with somebody. He's heard a little bit of what's going on. The guy who gets out the car, he's caught with something he shouldn't have, whether it's narcotics, something illegal in any shape and form, just enough to where the police can arrest him. Maybe they take him down and go to talking to him, and now he says some things he shouldn't say in order to try to get out of his predicament. He gives them names of what's going on and lets him know, who done this and who done that. It's just the trickle effect from what Flakko was saying, man, can run deep, right? And it's crazy that he would come on here, especially early in this situation, and just name gangs and put this specific incident on a particular area. Is just it's not a good look.
The shooting took place close to everybody. So Black Sam and his crew walked them like up to the edge of the Marathon Burger. But as soon as they walked them to the edge, that's when the incident took place. So the entire crowd was still near them when the shooting happened. And you can see when Black Sam is walking up, he's walking up with a dude that he's with who got shot in the leg, right? The gang members weren't the only one who got shot, bro. Multiple civilians also got shot.
Hey, he's right here. Sam's right here.
You get cut?
You good? You good? Oh, shit. You got... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. They got him. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh,
Hey, you're mine.
what's up, my boy?
Now, let me just make a point from what I can see, right? One of those dudes in that video was looking at his leg. There appeared to be some blood on his leg or whatever. So potentially he was injured in the incident that just took place. Right after he's looking at the leg and people are glancing down, the police pull up. You don't see nobody in that group say, hey, this dude shot. This dude is shot. Hey, nobody over there says anything. So, I mean, sometimes, in the subculture of gangbanging, people will keep things to themselves, or they will handle it in the way that they feel will draw the least amount of attention to whatever they got going on. Once again, none of those dudes encountered the police and said, hey, man, our buddy needs some type of, he needs some type of help. He needs some type of ambulance treatment, medical attention, anything of that nature. And so this is just what I'm saying, where sometimes, certain things can get the ball rolling when it may have not even rolled had an individual just not said some of the things he said.
Hey, bro. Weird ass dance from here.
Damn. Is he all right? Is he all right? Shit, some other shit popping around. This shit active. Everybody following share, boy, easy, man. This shit crazy, bro. This is my first time I had to duck down behind the truck. I felt like I'm in the hood again. They dropped them there, though. They dropped somebody over there, guys. Let me see if I could get a close-up.
Put this into perspective, bro. You are fighting for your life, and they're putting you, on like a little stretcher, and they're trying to get you to safety. And the last words you're hearing as you're dying is a dude on TikTok saying, thank you for the gifted. Keep gifting, guys. Oh, man. Oh, no, they dropped him over there. Now keep gifting, guys. What? Put that into perspective. Listen, man. Now, obviously, right, I'm not going to just sit here and put all blame on Black Sam or put all blame, on Marathon Burger, because obviously, right, they're not to blame, right? Because if you want to have a grand opening, you want to have an establishment, it's open to the public, obviously, because you want everyone coming to buy your burger. But what I would say, man, this right here is one of the biggest reasons why you cannot build your business off of serving the community that you grew up in. All communities can't be served, bro. I'm sorry. If you grew up in gang territory, if you grew up in a gang environment, they don't deserve burgers. They don't deserve nothing to eat, right?
Now, this is where this dude really just gets ludicrous. And some of the things he says, I have to just sit back, take it in without overreacting. He's saying that people who grew up in these gang areas, they don't deserve burgers. Everybody who grows up in these areas are not gang affiliated. Sometimes, unfortunately, your mother or your father's financial situation is their financial situation. I believe that every parent has their child in the best situation that they can. So if a person is staying there, is obviously because that's the best situation he can make for his child. I mean, what mother and father does not want better for their child? Even millionaires want their child to go on and be better and bigger millionaires. So to me, he's often out of touch with some of the things that he says, and he wants to try to make these blanket statements. And to be honest, due to the fact that his skin and my skin are the same color, I think that the way he puts down people who look like him is really shameful, right? This dude is really shameful, and it's crazy. But let's listen to him some more.
They deserve a pistol and a penitentiary. That's about it. The 2 P's, pistol and penitentiary, bro. That's it. A pistol to kill themselves off and a penitentiary to get them away from us. That's the only 2 things they.
So let me just rewind that to make sure I caught clearly everything that he was saying. Let's go right here and see if I'm backing up.
This right here is one of the biggest reasons why you cannot build your business off of serving the community that you grew up in. All communities can't be served, bro. I'm sorry. If you grew up in gang territory, if you grew up in a gang environment, they don't deserve burgers. They don't deserve nothing to eat, right? They deserve a pistol and a penitentiary. That's about it. The 2 P's, pistol and penitentiary, bro. That's it. A pistol to kill themselves off and a penitentiary to get them away from us. That's
a pistol to kill themselves off and a penitentiary to get them away from us. I wanted to rewind that to clearly listen to what he said. He said, if you grew up in a gang environment, so not necessarily if you belong to a gang. I can understand his frustration with gang members, right? But I'm gonna keep it 100. I wasn't the biggest Nipsey Hussle fan. I got onto him a little late, right? But I did listen to enough of his music to understand that his message was about helping the community, right? Because if you become too good for the community that you grew up in, who's gonna help them? Who can understand the community more than a person who grew up there, right? And so for him to say that these individuals don't deserve any help is crazy, because that would be the exact opposite of the message that Nipsey Hussle was trying to push and use to empower his people. So this dude right here, man, is, like I said, this dude is crazy. He's a conundrum, because while he'll tend to belittle and make disparaging remarks about certain individuals, certain gang members, certain gangster rappers, I've definitely heard him say that his favorite music artist was Young Dolph, a gangster rapper. So I mean, this dude right here, man, I don't really understand this dude, man. And sometimes, like I say, I have to just watch what I say when it comes to this dude, because I see this dude really as a race trader.
the only 2 things they deserve. They don't deserve burgers and fries and milkshakes. They gangbangers, right? The only thing they care about is killing. So, but when you try to overly serve the community, when you try to put these vehicles for opportunities around people who don't care about opportunities, this is always the outcome.
Now, he did specify right there gang members, right? But then he said, once again, he goes back to when you put this, when you try to serve the community, and obviously him not growing up in one of those type of communities, everyone in the community does not agree with, support, or condone the activities that's being participated in that particular environment. You have many people who are against gangs and so on and so forth, right? You may have people from the same household. Me myself, while I was out on the block selling drugs, doing what I was doing, my brother was a police exploiter. My brother wanted to be a police. I am literally on the corner selling drugs, watching my brother drive by as a police exploiter in a police car. I'm 15, 16. My homies looking at me all crazy, like, chill, what's up with your brother? I'm like, man, that's what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? And so for him to make these type of statements without really having a full understanding of how people think, what people do, is just, to me, it's just ridiculous, man.
Snoop Dogg was there. Big Boy was there. YG was there. You had billionaires in attendance, millionaires in attendance. And now I can almost guarantee you, right? Like those millionaires and billionaires and celebrities left like, man, bro, I ain't never coming back here again, man.
And see, earlier he said something to the effect of, you have certain individuals who don't deserve to be around, these millionaires, as if due to the money that they have accumulated in their life, they are now better than these individuals. But then he goes on to name Snoop Dogg was there, YG was there, both dudes who have gained financial success, but both individuals have also came from the hood and grew up in these same type of environments, right? And so that's why I assume that's why they attend these type of places, because they know what it's like and they want to be an inspiration in more ways than just financial. For some of these dudes, man, to be able to look up and see YG, to look up and see Snoop, knowing that they came from the same places they came from, can be an inspiration, man. So yeah, this dude is crazy. Poetic Flakko is his name, of course. I don't think I have to say who he is. He's pretty popular on YouTube. If you guys want to see the video in its entirety, go ahead and check it out. I'm through right here with this particular video. I'm gonna have some funny reactions coming up to this dude a little later on too, man. But anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.